Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Musing with MGL. I'm your host as always, MGL. Thank you for watching. If you like what I have to say, click, comment, share, click the bell notification, ding, 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 so you get notified. Still on my way, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so any help would be greatly appreciated. This microphone is loose today. So today's topic is, what is a gun buyback? Now, a lot of you probably know what a gun buyback is, but some people may not, and some people may not understand the nuances of what it means and what it doesn't mean and what the legality of it is and everything else like that. So in a nutshell, a gun buyback is when a community, usually run by the law enforcement department in the community, decides to try and get dangerous firearms off the street. And so what they do is they offer people things in exchange for those firearms. They basically tell you, if you bring firearms down to the X location, whether it's the department or some designated parking lot somewhere, you can drop off those firearms, no questions asked. They won't ask you where you got them from or where did you just use them in a gang shooting. They won't ask any of those questions. They'll take your firearm and then they'll give you something in exchange. It's usually a gift card or something along those lines. They don't give out cash, but they usually give out Walmart gift cards or just Amazon gift cards. Sometimes they give out, I think I've seen them even give out shoes or coupons for shoe stores, etc., etc. That's kind of, in my opinion, that's a little bit of a racist thing, because you're probably setting these up in inner cities and then saying, hey, come get some shoe coupons. So to me, that's a little on the racist side, but whatever. And so they're essentially trying to get these firearms off the street and giving people stuff in exchange for them. Now, obviously, what they're giving them is not even close to the value of the item. They usually put really low things on things, $50 for a handgun, $100 for a rifle, whatever. So obviously, it's cheap. They're not going to get you what you need for it, and what they're trying to do is get illegal firearms or whatever off the street, and so they entice these people to come in and do it. Now, gun buyback is an incorrect term, and those of us on the gun side know that it's an incorrect term because it's a misnomer. Because if you're going to buy something back, by definition, that means I had it in the first place. So if I own something and I sell it to you, and then a couple months later I say, hey man, I want to buy that back, and then I give you money for it and you sell it back to me, that's a buyback. Obviously, the sheriff's department or the police department or even the city didn't sell these people these firearms in the first place. So it's not a buyback because they didn't buy the items, sell them to the individuals, and then now they're buying them back. It's just it's another way they manipulate language and try and get people to think that it's something that it's not. So it's not a buyback. It's basically just a gun purchase. And of course, they're using friggin' taxpayers' money to do it. It's not a private organization like Bloomberg. Look, if Bloomberg wants to give $1 million to a local city and say, hey, take that $1 million and buy some guns, I'd still think that would suck, obviously, but at least it's a private person's money and I wouldn't have anything to say about it. But you're going to take taxpayers' money and use that money to buy firearms off the street from people who either stole those firearms in the first damn place, or you get people who are stupid and are just trying to virtue signal and say, look, I'm trying to do my part. So I went down and sold my $500 Glock that I paid for that I don't think I need anymore, and I'm going to get a $50 gift card to Sam's Club or something stupid like that because they want a virtue signal. It's these same people that cut up their AR-15s in their backyard and post videos about it because they think that it's cool. So those are the two type of people that you get to come to this place. The criminals aren't coming down there because you could say all you want, we're not going to ask any questions or whatever, but they're not going to believe you. They're not going to think they can come down and sell you a gun they just used in a drive-by for $50, and you're not going to somehow find out that gun was used in a drive-by and trace it back to them. So your actual criminals aren't bringing these things in. Your normal-headed gun owners like myself and others aren't bringing these things in. So you're getting this weird group of people who most of them aren't criminals. They're not bringing in firearms that were used in or are ever going to be used in a crime. They're just bringing in firearms because they're either trying to virtue signal, maybe they're down on their luck and they don't want to go to a pawn shop, so they just bring it down there. You could get the occasional person who maybe stole the firearm and just dropped it off, but again, they're not going to do that because they could sell that same firearm on the street and get way more than the $50 shoe coupon. So I don't know who they're getting with these, and it's funny when you see them post pictures of the stuff that they get. It's always junk. It's crap. It's somebody may have found grandpa's old rusted 22 in the closet and decided they want to take it down and try and get some bucks for it, knowing that it doesn't work or it's not worth anything. I see some pictures of people who look like they make some homemade crap. They put a couple of boards together and some tubes and tie some things around it, and then again, it's no questions asked. So the cops are just going to go, oh, here's your $50 because it ain't their money, it's the taxpayers' money. So they'll just give it to them and buy it back. So when you look at these pictures of the guns that they usually buy back, it's hilarious. It's virtue signaling people who don't know what they have. Like, we've seen pictures of people bringing in really expensive firearms just, again, because grandpa died. I'm some left-wing liberal. My grandpa died, and I found this gun in his closet, and I don't want it, so I'm going to go down and turn it into the police department and tell everybody how awesome I am. So those are the people turning those things in. So getting any of those firearms off the street is not safety. It's not making anybody safer. It's not protecting our streets. It's not doing anything other than wasting people's taxpayer money and probably destroying some firearms that are actually pretty valuable in historical firearms, but people just don't know what they're doing, so they turn them in. And a lot of those, I'm not going to make any conspiracy theories or whatever, but I've seen people on Facebook and stuff say all the time that a lot of those things probably go home with some of those cops. If somebody brings in like a $1,500 or $2,000 firearm that they don't know what it's worth, there's a lot of people out there who don't think that that's making its way to the melting pot or to be dumped out in the middle of the Gulf somewhere to create a reef. So there's a lot of suspicion that goes on with those things, but the bottom line is they shouldn't be using taxpayers' dollars. They shouldn't be taking money that pro-Second Amendment people donate, or not donate, but have taken from them by force, because taxation is theft, and use that to purchase firearms just so they can try and virtue signal and claim that they're making the streets safer. But in the long run, it's a wasted program. It doesn't really do any good. It just makes some people virtue signal, but it just annoys a lot of us in the Second Amendment community because it exploits the stupidity of people and the virtue signaling of people. And it's like everything else the government does. Mostly it's a waste of taxpayers' money. So that's my thought. That is what a gun buyback is. That's my thoughts on it. Feel free to comment down below what you have to say. I'm going to end the recording here. Thanks for watching as always. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stay vigilant, and as always, carry on.